right when I started. Jesus Christ. Vito, you are insane. You are crazy, Vito. Chill. Vito. You're crazy. It's so fucking crazy, man. Fucking bloody hell. Do this real quick. Let's let do his thing. Grammy 2 McBeers MC. It's Blogino. Yeah, I could do that for you. That could be a quiet. It's doing the sharing things around kind of thing really quick. There we go. All right. And just real quick. What's up, you gorgeous man? Whole. He is a whole man, that's for sure. I am indeed a whole. I am a whole man. I would feel a little like freaked out if I was any less and there was like something missing and I was only half a man, like I was missing my legs or something. That would that'd suck. I wouldn't want that. Well, I'll say, it does seem like there's going to be a little double whammy for the doggos, because I'll give him a little venture time for acquiring some brews, and then after that I was going to take him to the percolator. I'm just going to say that instead of the actual like the word, because I know the Vito special would freak the fuck out. I don't want that. We just started this. We don't need Vito freaking the fuck out like right off the bat. He could wait like a minute. Literally, it was like the first 10 seconds. He was already like, it's like, God damn, you were chill right up until that point. He times it out, I swear. Like, he does it purposely. Because he'll be just chilling the entire time, pretty much. And then I do this, and he's like, "Oh, I see what's happening here." I think because he knows I do do that for him when I'm done, but he thinks that like I'm just gonna do it and be done. He can't anticipate when it's gonna be over for that to be the case. He just knows that at some point after this, that happens for him. Sometimes while I am doing them. So I mean, he's just too smart for his own good when it comes to that. Might at least give him a quick little, out in the back, a little bit, because I think you're piecing around. Oh my god, you almost knocked the torch over, Vito. All right, potty. You want to go potty? We'll go outside. Let's go outside. All right. Oh, careful. I know it's kind of raining out there, so I don't think they're going to like it, but they'll deal with it. Do you think Aladdin should be held accountable for touching Abu inappropriately? What? Sure. But what about Nala? Simba was probably like technically a teenager, right? At least a young adult, so maybe there's a pass there, but you have to take into account cat ears. So, mm. And also, you know for a fact that that scene with Simba and Nala was definitely for awakening for a lot of people. Doing a Sweet Home Alabama style. Sweet Home Alabama. Mm-hmm. Because, hey, the kingdom yearns for it. Why are we getting into this already? Well, why is this like the topic we're starting off with? Good lord. At least let me get a little bit of some of this booze in right now. Come on now. I mean, at least a little bit of booze before we start doing this shenanigans. I'm drinking a Berry Hug pineapple right now. They got a pineapple one? What the fuck? Nice. Sick. How many Skittles can you swallow whole without chewing them? Why would you not chew them? Like, that's kind of the love of the Skittle, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I guess, I don't know, like a handful. Like, if I had a handful when I was chewing, you know, like if I chewed some of them, but I swallowed a few others that didn't chew, I guess, like, however that would be for the challenge, obviously. Well, I wouldn't do that because that's just kind of dumb. I just would rather eat Skittles as they are. Because now you're just like skipping the whole point of eating the Skittles, which is for the flavor of it, which you would have to chew them up for you to really, truly, you know, maximize that. Thoughts on a lottery such as Powerball and Mega Millions? It's basically just kind of like a poor man's like kind of lottery game if you think about it. I've like done it once or twice and I've gotten like maybe I don't know, like the most I got was like $50 out of it. It's not fucking worth it. A lot of people get desperate and will do it in a sense, you know, they might win like, you know, even a few thousand or some shit. You guys are gay now, man. Dude, because I mentioned I was bi once, now everyone thinks I'm just straight gay. It's a meme now. I'm just letting it happen. I don't care. It's just kind of funny. So proud I came out. See what I mean? Like, bro, I came out back in like fucking high school, dog. Homie, like, I've been out for a long time, dude. Good God, what the fuck? Sick. I can't tell if that's like a good thing or a bad thing you're saying there. Smoke weed. Will this answer the question? Oh, that answers the question. Right in your face. Oh, fuck. You know what? I totally forgot to do a pin comment. Since we're all just kind of dilly-daddling, chilling, gonna do this real quick and put a little pin in Camarones of Mikishia and Rose's little, one of the mods in my chat. Not in there right now, but he does like, you know, writings and scary stories, you know, all that shenanigans. So just need to get the thingamaboop. But oh fuck, I have to go find it and copy paste it. I thought I had a clipboard. I guess I didn't. So the sprinkles. Where is it? There you are. Copy text. Bada bing. Bada boom. And, Just roll. Just kind of dilly-dallying. Shut up, me. I don't need to hear myself. There we go. And... Oh. Forgot them. Hold on. And pinned. There we go. Cool. I didn't forget y'all. Let's make y'all get wet. You know, I should kind of wet. All right, that's actually no. Okay, I guess it stopped raining out there because they're not really wet. Vito has like the tiniest dampage, but that's about it. He's Gucci though. Well, no, I'm knocking over the torch. That's what's lovely. Lovely. There we go. I love that you said straight gay a moment ago. Well, I pretty much am a straight. So I might as well be. I'm so gay, I reverted back to straight. And I'm like halfway there. I went like so gay that I pretty much like now went halfway back to being straight. Only halfway though. Just only halfway through that. That's the pin name. Oh, I was talking. Oh, wait, what? Oh, wow. This dog just took a shit right in front of the driveway I need to get into. Now I'm just sitting waiting for the dog to take a shit so I can move. Damn. Dude, that dog is a troll. You know that dog was waiting to take that shit, and then as soon as it saw you rolling up, he was like, hold up. I need to go now. I need to do it now. Oh, shit. Dude, what a little troll of a dog. What the fuck? Honestly, even if I was in that situation, I probably wouldn't be able to help but at least laugh a little bit. That would be funny. I would still be frustrated. I'd be like, oh, god damn it, come on. It's like, now my car's probably going to roll over or something. Fuck. You know, but it's like, well, whatever. It's still amusing. I'll just let the owner know and be like, hey, yo, your dog kind of took a shit. Might want to address that. You really just like plopping that ass all over the place, don't you, Vito? I heard you get pouty. Why are you constantly licking your lips, dude? You did this to me last night. He decided to stick around for whatever reason because I crashed here, and he was plopped right by my head, and for some reason just kept going. I looked up, and he wasn't even doing anything. He was just staring, just doing that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, dude, that's like right by my ear. Like, what the hell? I think he knows it gets to me, so now he's doing it. On top of all of his other shenanigans. Can we not with like the emoji spam? You can have, you know, some of your little emojis, but like spamming them like where it's taking up half the chat basically for me, I'm like, whoa. You can chill a little bit with the emojis there, buddy. I know you're you know, flaming queer, proud of it, but hey, you know, chill a little bit, just a little bit. You know what's great? Lifting toilet lid and seeing a big ass cockroach crawling in the toilet bowl. Oh my god, dude, you have had a constant problem with those things, bro. Bruh, that's just wild. You know what? On one hand, I'm like, you know what? You're in the toilet bowl, so you're being flushed now, bitch. You know, so there's kind of a weird satisfactory of like, yeah, get shat on, get pissed on, motherfucker. But you know that bitch is just gonna survive anyway, and then just like live in the sewers or something. They have it out for me. They evidently do. Apartments that you're at suck. I eat peanuts, black olives, and corn the same night. What's wrong with you? I mean, nothing wrong with those food options, but all at once, then you just like leave them in a toilet just for other people. What the fuck? You're the reason why people don't like public bathrooms just in general. Because if I can help it, I try to avoid using them. Vito, shut the fuck up! Oh my god, you're insane. We get it. You want attention. You want to be out. I know what you want. I know what this is all about, you motherfucker. Jesus Christ. You are insane. Vito, I swear. Jazzy, don't enable this. Don't go to me. Vito, get your rope. Get your fucking rope. Go get your ball. Get the damn thing. Jesus. Christ almighty. Flush twice, good. When I'm on Josh, if leaving again, I just have to assume this is bait, because honestly, not even like homeless people are usually this raunchy. I mean, like, goddamn, bro. Now, don't get me wrong. There's raunchy homeless people that will just not give a fuck, but they're not like going out of their way in a sense to like seek just utter chaos, discord to humanity. They're just like, I just gotta go, fuck it, and they just go like, you know, wherever, you know, like nature calls, you know, which also is why there should be public bathrooms in the sense of like, you know, downtown areas and parks and things like that, so that's less of a problem. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, they need to be maintained and cleaned as well. And also in other public spaces, they need to be actually treated like sanitized, decent spaces. So, you know, I don't feel like I'm walking into a literal sewer hole. Don't bring white Jesus into this. I'll bring all the Jesuses into this. Don't tempt me. I'll bring Asian Jesus into this too, and he has nothing to do with any of this. I'll just do it just out of spite now. How do you know so much, to be honest? I just think critically about things. And quote, do my own research, but I actually do by looking at like peer review studies and things like that. So, do you like ice? Fuck no, I don't. The only ice I like is in, you know, whiskey on the rocks or a nice cold soda at a restaurant. That's the only ice I like. God damn. Motherfuckers got the zoomies. Guarantee this guy's most welfare after life. Says the guy who literally takes shits in buckets and just leaves them around in random places. You don't have any room to talk, my guy. This guy's chill cool. I have a beer for you. Well, crack one now. Then you know, for a screen would. Vito, chill. Oh my goddamn. Vito, you. Fuck. You're insane. At least Jazzy's chilling. Vito. Oh my god. Holy fuck. What is wrong with y'all? Are you a guy? Huh? Don Vito of the Corleone Familia. That would be. Vito is a crazy one. And that's actually what it's named after, too. Got a roll map and never travel out of a state crazy. Yeah, I have. I've traveled outside the country, too. Been to Iceland. Been to Montana. Been to Idaho. Been to Wyoming. Been to Florida once. Ugh. Texas a few times. Been to plenty of places. I mean, I know you probably didn't go outside of your own hometown, but hey, you know, that ain't my problem. I love that how, like, you know, what was that even based off of anyway? Like, you know, what world does, like, that make an assumption like, yeah, this person's definitely never been anywhere? Like, where the fuck did that even come from? Like, being from Oregon and having this probably would imply that I've been there at least once, which I have. So, point out the map where you're from. PNW. It's up there. Kind of in that general vicinity that I'm circling. And I definitely been to different parts of the States. Not New England or the East Coast as much. Outside of Florida once when I was a wee little lad. I was visiting a family that were having vacation down there and they wanted me to come along, but they were all in Montana, so I had to meet them over there, yeah, in order to go. So that's what I did. It's back in like 2007, I think, some shit. It was a long time ago. Bloody fuck, almost 2 decades ago. Or at least probably a decade ago. I know it was around December. I know it was around like a Christmas trip of some sort. Or at least, you know, before a Christmas trip or afterwards. It was somewhere around then. So it might have also even been like a New Year's trip, I think. What's another state that I've been to? Fucking Arizona, California, Montana, North Dakota, Illinois, obviously, Minnesota. What's another state I've been to? I've been in Nevada because I had a layover in Vegas once, but I don't know if I really count that. I guess I do. I mean, what else? California a few different times. Washington a bunch of times. Montana pretty much like half of my childhood. Just berries. Oh my god, who gives a fuck? People are, you know, moving from this place, and I don't even. This isn't even my spot, so who gives a shit? In fact, since you brought it up, anyway, I'll just for the fun. Just we're all just kind of dilly-dallying. Just shut up, me. Shut up, me from 20 minutes ago. I enjoy Florida, but I don't have to live there. I don't want to be there. I was there once as a kid. I'm just gonna let the memories of it being positive for that be it. Oh no, is this a murder live stream? Yeah, totally. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I need to reach $100 on my Cash App, or else the guy in the background is quietly staring at me. Is going to kill me. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's pinned in the pinned comment there on the on the chat. So, by the way, I'm joking. Jess, you nested on the speaker. I'm moving over here. Oh wait, Vito's over there. Fuck. I'm just putting it there. Sounds believable, more believable than you not changing a smoke alarm battery. It's not mine to deal with, dog. And the friend that normally would be able to handle that can anyway, because it's on the lease, with the contract with the landlord, and plus he's moving from this place anyway, so it's like a less of a fuck to give. If anything, you can just use it against the place, when it comes to like, if you wanted to sue him, which he has actually, considered. Considering a lot of other bullshits. So, simple as. Ever thought of that? I mean, personally, I do, but, what the fuck is the use of bitching about it? Hence, Sound Bob, what's up, man? What's up, bruh? What's up, Jay? Yo, did you even comment? Well, I'm sure shit ain't gonna read your comment with that attitude. Shit, dick. Billy Strings looking ass dude. So I look like Silent Bob. I look like Joe Dirt, Billy Strings, fucking James Hetfields, fucking. What else do I look like? Shut the fuck up! Oh my god, you were insane. Get your ball. Find your ball. Get your damn ball. No, because you're wrong. I don't even give enough of a fuck to care about what you're trying to get at me about. You can repeat it. You could just, copy and paste what you were saying, and then you could just do that. I ain't gonna scroll up to figure it out. Who the fuck is this loony? I don't know. Why do you have, like, the most literal boomer, like, selfie profile pic I've ever seen? But somehow not, like, an old guy. Like, I mean, my guy. You might want to, kind of fix that up a little bit. My experience, people say don't give a fuck, deep down they do. They're just hurt by people that didn't give a fuck about them. What type of psychology shit you doing, bud? Dude, I do this for a hobby and for fun, my guy. Also, for the most part, yeah, don't give a fuck. I kind of do in a sense that it is just kind of like a little annoying that it's just like, not very creative trolling from a lot. But whatever. I've been around the internet plenty of times. You really think my skin's that fucking thin? Like, once these are over, I literally just don't give a fuck, and I'm like, alright, I want to get some food. Might watch a movie or something. Oh no, I want to catch up on, like, some DS9 or something like that. Like, I literally don't, like, forget about half or 90% of this shit in here. Just many people that actually don't give a fuck, don't even give a fuck to mention it. It's all homie, no hard feelings. I mean, the only reason why I do is just because I, need to have a reminder for some. If anything, the fact that I'm kind of pretty consistently going back at these people is also kind of another good little sign that it really don't. I can take the shit and I can throw it back. You guys lying strong tonight. It really is. I will admit, it is like intense tonight, but I'm okay with it. Bring it on. A good movie recommend, so I'm trying to watch something. I don't know. What are you feeling? Like action, like a drama, like a feel good, like film. What are you feeling? Because I've been kind of trying to catch up on some movies and stuff like that, even like some old movies and childhood movies and stuff like that I've grown up with. Alien movies, to be honest. Well, shit. I will say, like, the ones I would recommend are probably going to be ones you might have already seen. There's Alien and Aliens. What's that like? I think it's literally called Cowboys versus Aliens. As cheesy as that movie is, it's actually not bad. I like it. It's pretty fun. It's a fun little, like, have a beer too kind of movie, and kind of changes the game up a little bit. So, I mean, I'll say that it's actually kind of fun as a concept overall, and it's all right film. I won't say it's like great by any metric, but I recommend it, as like a watch it one time kind of thing. Aliens over Alien, but both are good. Yeah, both are pretty good. There was another one that was in, like, what the fuck was it? I'm trying to think, because there was another one that I saw not that long ago. Because I can think of some shows that are kind of like this too. If you're into like watching maybe like a show, I forgot the name of it. I think it's on Hulu. I think. No, it's on HBO, I believe. I forgot. It's been a minute since I've seen the show, but it's about this alien who's like not a human being, but is trying to, basically learn about humanity and shit like that for the purpose of pretty much conquering them. But he ends up learning how to live with them and actually develops feelings and attachments in the sense of like, oh, I actually kind of care about these people and stuff. Like, it's actually a pretty good show, but it's been a minute since me and my buddy watched it because he was the one who recommended it to me. I mean, it's not like a full-on, like space kind of thing, but I mean, it's got some alien shit going down with it. Saw a movie called Moon with Sam Rockwell recently, pretty good. Alien's probably one of the best sequels ever made. That's true. And Terminator 2. Arguably, in my opinion, Terminator 2 is a little better. Not that the first one's bad. Like, that one's fucking amazing. But second one, and I'll even say not as good as the first two, but the third one's fucking good too. I know it got some shit when it came out, but honestly, I don't know. I actually, it holds up. I think it stands up pretty well. I mean, especially in comparison to the newer Terminators. Let's be honest here. Bro, I was either gonna watch T2 again or an Alien movie. Well, shit. Golpe no los dos. You know what I mean? I'd be that guy. I'd be like, all right, I'm watching this because I'm feeling this more, but I'm watching that too because I know I'm probably not gonna find something else after this. So I do both. Oh yeah, dude, in T2. Oh, absolutely. I will admit though that in the first movie, you can never like forget that gun shop scene. I'd like to send the automatic 12 gauge. I'd like the 9mm with a LEC sighting. 40 watt plasma phaser rifle. Hey, just what you see here, pal. 9mm Uzi. Also, what's funny is that there's actually a reason why the Terminator mentioned the plasma phaser rifle thing. It's because in the timeline, they're actually being experimented and tested on by the U.S. military at that point. And the Terminator knew that information going back, but he didn't realize they're like for commercial use stuff. You know what I mean? So obviously the general public doesn't know fuck all about it. So in a weird way, the Terminator is not only confirming that it's not a common weapon anyone has at all, and thus knows that it's pretty much invulnerable to humans at this rate. Because of the reason why I also mentioned it is because those are actually something that can kill a Terminator. So he's confirming to himself, like, oh, I could just like eliminate anything in my path and I could still eliminate Sarah Connor. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, when you think about it in hindsight, it's like, oh, it's actually validating and confirming the information it had going in when Skynet programmed it, and sent it back to go to Sarah Connor, because it knew that humanity was having that technology, but it wasn't in mass scale. That was a way to confirm it. I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. We see no millimeter. I know, it's just like no. Annoying. Yeah, I ain't doing no goddamn flip, bitch. Jesus Christ. Dude, some skibbity shit right there, bro. God damn. We're having a conversation over here, and this little kid's like, I know it's the weekend, kid, but, you should probably be, like, studying for your fucking school. School tests and shit. Unfortunately, literacy rates and, and all that, and it's just students' learning capacities have just failed immensely. I could literally go on r/teacher subreddit and go on endless posts that go on and on and on about how bad it is. It's some doomer feel if you ever need any. And radicalizing in a way too. Where are you speaking from? The Pacific Northwest? I bet it's going to replace people singing entirely at this rate. Dude, like it's on a few of the posts will literally be teachers complaining that students literally would right in front of them without a give a fuck in the world will literally look up shit on ChatGPT, be like, how do you solve this, and then literally just copy and paste everything without thinking about it. I mean, it's already pretty much there for the most part with a lot of these kids. It's fucking insane. There's even one post where I mentioned, like, I have a kid who literally is like, you will not make me work. Don't even bother giving me assignments. Don't even do anything about it. I don't care. I will not do it. I'll just immediately recycle it. I am here just for the attendance, and that's it. It's just like, who the fuck do you think you are, kid? Like, what? I mean, what the fuck? Because we know AI doesn't make mistakes. Oh, I know, right? Especially when it comes to like Gemini or ChatGPT, Grok. Definitely never making mistakes at all. I think it's also a fault of the education system as a whole. They teaching kids what to think and not how to think critically. A part of it, but at this point, like our education system's even failing that. I mean, it's just like getting to the point where it's fucking insanely bad. Where you can't even really like get kids to focus on even the most basic of shit. And also, I will admit and be blunt here, it is a fault of a lot of parents neglecting their kids and actually, instead of raising them by being with them, giving them social interaction, like sitting down with bedtime, reading a fucking book in their face and letting them read a book. Instead, let's shove a fucking iPhone in their face. Let's shove a fucking, iPad or my laptop in front of their face. Let's just do that instead. And then they, basically just go brain rot. Yeah, because that's totally raising your child. That's definitely engaging them, especially when it comes to the world. Person blames all those iPad kids are not engaging them. When I used to work at Safeway, for 9 fucking plus years, you know how many times I would see parents that would come in with their kids and they will just hand their phone to them just to distract them? I hated it just as much, but in a way, I would prefer it if their kids were just running around playing with each other, pretending to do some imaginary kid shit, whatever it was. I know how kids are. They got some random little world that they're in. It's like I'd much rather them do that and the parents like, hey, come on, stay close to me. I'd rather that than she just, or the father just hands off an iPad and don't give a shit. I'd much rather that. And I don't like it either because I don't want kids running around a store, willy-nilly and shit. But I'd rather that because they're being engaged. They're actually like running around the world around them. And if anything, it'd be a learning lesson for them. Be like, hey, you need to mind your space and understand there's other people around, and you might bump into them, and they might drop something on you. It's gonna hurt, and you don't want that. You need to stay by me. You can play all you want, but stay close by me and don't get in people's way and blah, blah, blah. Like, that can actually be a learning lesson for kids. But nope, let's just shove a fucking iPhone in their head, and let them get brain rotted with some random skibbity shit on YouTube Shorts or whatever the fuck. Or whatever the hell is that fucking TikTok or some shit. And YouTube Kids is not, their algorithm's broken to fuck. Because, we know for a fact when that shit first rolled out, there was some really scandalous shit that was making it through the algorithm over there. And you think that shit stopped? Guarantee you that's still a problem. Work City probably they charge us union fees while we maybe want us to protest old man Jeff and me 40 hours. Thank you. Thinks things are unfair. Well, hey, I was in a union too when I was working. We didn't make minimum wage though, because at least our local union were willing to fight to make sure that at least we got decent wage. Now, was it like, exceptionally better than minimum wage? I mean, by a couple bucks. Honestly, it was alright. It was alright. It wasn't necessarily something to cry home to mama about, but, write her a letter over, but it was good. I mean, it had decent, healthcare, decent, benefits. Like, at least when it came to my union, our local, like, they actually treated us fair when it came to that. And, like, when, it came to the fees, like, the benefits and the things that I got, including the wages that I was, given, definitely outweighed the dues that, I was, had to do, which was 15 a month, give or take, which wasn't much. But, our local was also a really big one too. Like, out of all the United Food commercial workers, ours is a pretty big one. Actually, I was around for the time when the local 619A from Jackson, Wyoming got merged with our union. So it's definitely, like, we were able to have our dues like not as extensive, while still being able to maintain benefits. So my problem was they were a little too lib about a lot of things. Where it's like, hey, if we're going to threaten a strike or at least do a strike of some sort, then like let's actually be persistent and consistent with it, like this one day or weekend strike or stuff like this, or just like, we might. It's like that doesn't that you're not really going to get the concessions that are necessary. I will admit though that near the end of my tenure when I was with them, like it was starting to kind of get on the up and up, and I'm sure now they're probably more radical and on the up and up now, all things considered. But all in all, I mean, for me, it's like it. I wish that union was the same, but I wouldn't necessarily disregard the fact and the power of unions and labor power. It is important and it's definitely something to consider, because honestly the power of the union is only as powerful as its most vocal and adamant union members, the ones who are willing to step up to the plate, kind of thing. What's up to the SC files? Hopefully a lot of people will wake up and of the games being played. Oh man, it's coming, it's happening. First time my kids consume brainwash when he's rocking stereotypical frat douche mullet and stash combo. I ain't got no fucking mullet, dog. And honestly, out of spite, I'm just wanting to have a mullet more. Just out of spite now. Because I know I could fucking rock it. Fuck you, bitch. It's not my fault you can't rock a decent mullet. Not only that, but remember there's PragerU Kids, which means there's a decent chance kids are seeing videos like I'm Edna the Eagle, and here's why Columbus is totally based. Yeah, well, that is being taught in some schools. I'm pretty sure I read an article sometime last year, like back in like springtime of last year, where there are some schools like in Texas and shit, literally having PragerU kids as like a form of education. I mean, you're saying that like it might happen, it already is, bro. That's how fucked it is. Ignore. Hey, what's up? Nice background. Thanks. Looks kind of like a baby with a mustache. Well, blame my dad's genetics because it was only until about 30 when it was finally able to grow something. And also, I did trim the other day, so it's a little bit more pronounced. Fucking Christ, Vito! You're insane. Get over here, you fucker. Oh my god, I'm a crazy dog. I'm insane. I shall fight and wrestle you now. You're just backing that ass up harder and harder, bro. You are insane. What's up, bro? No. Where are you going? Oh, got you, bro. Got you, motherfucker. You are insane. You are insane. You are crazy. Is that Rottweiler? Nope. Looks mixed. He is a mixed boy. He's mostly Shepherd, Border Collie, some American Bully, little Dachshund, Pomeranian, all sorts of stuff. I don't know how he has a small dog in him, because he has a few of that in him, but he's mostly got the big three. Sheppy, Bully, and Collie. And here's the other one. Oh, little chunk. This is the other one. Ugh. Chunk. You big muscly chunk. She doesn't care as much. She kind of is like, well, this is my fate. I'm just here now. Oh, big old chunk. Don't your brother. Get him. You know what? All this means when you get your 40s, people are gonna go into you for compliment. Wait, hold on. All this means when you get your 40s, people are going to compliment you for being so young looking. Hopefully, I end up just being more exquisite and chiseled in. After getting close to look, they definitely Shepherd. Oh yeah, Jazzy got a little bit more of that Bully and Collie in her though. And also, her younger siblings pretty much mostly look like a bunch of hers. Just a bunch of Jazzies of various sizes and shapes. Because they all come from the same parents. And my dog, Sukov, he is from same parents but the second litter, so he's a younger brother. And he looks more like a Vito. But he's got like a little white tuft on his chest like Jazzy does. But do you have a big-ass map on your wall? Do you like geography and or traveling? Well, I will say it's not my map, it's my friend's map. But yes, I like both. Where you at, man? I'm in Australia. Boy, crikey, mate. I'm from the PNW. My Aussie accent is probably fucked. You're probably gonna roast me and call me a fucking cunt. Bloody cunt, your accent's terrible. Yeah. Mickey got. Watching Norman Pierce. I didn't see it. I mean, there's a lot of different chats going on in here, and also mainly this fucker has been very distracting too. This little bastard. All right, I'll scroll up. Can I get a rip Bubbles in chat? Oh, your fish died? Oh, well, rip to your little fish. You know it sucks losing a pet. If I were to get a fish, though, I would just get, like, an aquarium full of all sorts of different fish. So even if I, were to lose one and it would be sad, I'd be like, well, at least the ecosystem of this aquarium will do its thing. But still, it would be like, damn. Oh, man, I did kind of look at that for half a second. I was like, is that a troll? But I'm like, nah. He was eaten by 3 others. Oh, Jesus. Did you hear about Varg Vikernes from Burzum passed away? I'm familiar about Varg Vikernes, but are you bullshitting me? I don't really like his philosophy or politics or anything, but I like black metal, so I do like his music. So, I mean, but mostly it's like old stuff when he was making it in prison. But are you actually serious? I'm gonna look that up. He's not. He's still alive. Yeah, there's really nothing about him being dead. Yeah. You lied to me, bitch. Did you hear about the HOA people that drained a guy's green pool while he was away from a home and didn't realize it was because he had a bunch of rare Japanese koi at the bottom, killed off Cora Mill? This is why HOAs suck. Fucking HOA, dog. You also want to know, the origins of an HOA, by the way? It has racist origins. I'm not even joking. I mean, say woke or whatever you want, but this is actually a part of the history. The reason why HOAs exist is because a lot of, white white Anglo-Saxon Protestant types were not exactly too keen of black folk moving into their neighborhoods, especially when it came to their property values, because it would reduce property values and the usual bullshit excuses. And their way of doing so was that they will all come in and pitch in a little money and basically establish what is now known as HOAs, as a way to kind of keep the riffraff out, essentially, and keep everything in a very certain pristine way, because there's rules that need to be abided by, which everyone, was going to agree to. Mostly, we don't want black people here. And that, was it mostly started in California, but it went widespread, from there once it kind of started becoming a thing. It started becoming a thing around in like the 70s and the 60s and shit. Which now, at this point, it's not really based off of that as much anymore. Though I guarantee you there's a lot of HOAs that still are. But I guarantee it's not really as much of the basis anymore, but the strict rule and the weird, prudish bullshit nature of HOAs is still very much there. And it just shows that no matter what, HOAs fucking suck. They just suck. Their history sucks. The concept of an HOA sucks. Pretty much 99% of HOAs, that exist suck. They just suck. Anyone that advocates for an HOA sucks. It's like there's nothing good that comes from that shit. It's just all suck. Didn't know history, but sounds believable. Don't have to be politically inclined to realize, fuck those guys. Exactly, yeah. I mean, most people can agree, that they suck. I know that sometimes people do it because like it's probably cheaper to rent or it's one of the cheap properties to own. I know why there are people that do get into them, or maybe they don't realize they're in one until it's too late. But it's like, I will say, there's no real legal jurisdiction on what the HOAs can enforce to do. If you just like fuck off, like I know my rights as an owner of this property, like even as a member of the HOA, and if you want to bitch about that, maybe you should like invest the HOA dues into other things, so I don't maybe want to do that. Maybe we can invest in a community garden instead of having one on my yard. Shit like that. Until then, shit up. I mean, it's basically some shit like that because realistically, they can't really do anything. They could try to fine you and stuff, but there's no real legal jurisdiction for you to pay them. You don't have to. My boyfriend got the same hat. Nice. I mean, I figured it is kind of like a souvenir kind of hat anyway. I did have pins on it, but the last protest I went to in Portland, I lost it for a minute, and then someone left it, but they took the pins off of it. I'm just like, at that point, just take the fucking hat. Why'd you take the pins? But whatever, I still have it, so I don't give a fuck. The pins, I really don't really give a shit about. I just thought it was funny that someone took the pins instead of the hat. Is that ego of the body? I mean, it's an ego, and the sense of wanting to have control and power over others, especially if you're like an HOA president type. So yeah, it definitely is, especially if you're like, well, I'm not an HOA president. Well, you can't do that. Because, so many of these Karens are always like, just peering through the fucking windows, just wait for someone to slip up so they can complain about it. Because, yeah, they really do attract the worst fucking people. Gonna take a little piss real quick. Be right back. Hopefully these dogs stay chill. Probably not though. Jesus, Vito. Why are you right there on my front? Damn. Go get it, Vito. Get it, Vito. He's ignoring me. What? I was in the bathroom. I just came back. What? Does anyone know the concept of like taking a piss, be right back? Sure. Let me charge this real quick. Oh, there we go. Without me, what? And also, Dave Faulkner, where did you even comment? I'm scrolling up and I don't even see your shit. So that don't even make sense. How can I ignore you when you haven't even said anything up until that point? Some people have sense power over others. Doesn't matter what it is. They're opportunists. Doesn't matter if it's HOA or covert being store clerk. They'll find a way to be boot. Or if ICE at this point, or like it's just one of those things where it's like there's kind of like this little fulcrum of duality going on here. I think that's coming up, and I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than just this simplistic, but I do think it does kind of come down to a root of power versus, you know, like, well, control versus, you know, control and like versus liberty, essentially. And the liberty in a sense of being able to, you know, like kind of rethink this idea of what like states' rights are, rethink the idea of what, you know, individuality is, and rethink about like, you know, government overreach, a lot of these things. Because I will admit, like a lot of these kind of ideas are more like American libertarian / like conservative leaning, you know, ideas usually. But a lot of lefties like myself do believe in these things too. You know, we, you know, have these ideas as well, but you know, and now there's like such a major sense of that on top of, you know, what really should be considered control, you know, at this rate now. It's becoming, you know, to a point in a fulcrum where I think people are starting to really realize like the value of what like democracy and actual representation looks like. And also the idea of, you know, the concept and the paradox of tolerant of being of intolerance. Because at this rate, I mean, this whole weird liberal idea of like we could all get together and just talk it out as long as we're just nice and stuff, and that includes even to the fascists because they happen to be like talking nice and, oh well, I'm just, you know, talking, you know about push my dudes, bro. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm just telling you like the Jews and stuff. So like fuck that. That's, you know, that like at this point it's like nah. You know, to have a platform for any of that shit gets us to where we're at now. Like, there needs to be a point where it's like, yeah, no, fuck that. We're putting a line in the sand saying, yeah, we can be intolerant in this shit. And yeah, you can say it all you want with the free speech bullshit that they like to spew. But guess what? Freedom of speech also, you know, doesn't exclude freedom of consequence either. Like, if you're calling someone a faggot on the bus or some shit, you know, don't be surprised if, you know, that same person decides to deck you in the face. That's called, you know, that's called the consequence of your speech. You can say it all you want, but hey, someone might react to it, and you might not like it, but tough shit. Luke's genocide arm. Oh, is he back? Or she's back? Or whoever the fuck. Cafe on the beaches. They have the best restaurants. Yeah, no, you don't. Just on the virtue of America itself and the diversity of food that you can find here in this country, regardless of where the fuck you're at, mainly, but especially in places like Chicago, Portland, New York, and, you know, places in New Orleans and shit like that. Yeah, no, bullshit. You don't have the best food. The variety and all that we have out here just overrides that virtue. Talk about Iran. No, not necessarily. I guess, you know, that can be a part of the equation of what we're talking about, I guess. What do you think it stems from? Like, people are just control freaks and usurp power outwardly so they don't feel like they're off the rails or important or denial of autonomy? To a degree. But what about, like, the Epstein class? because I mean that doesn't completely apply to them, because they are considered very important individuals, people of the upper echelon, people of influence, people of power, politicians, shareholders, CEOs, businessmen, fucking agents, for different governments. Like, I mean, there's some importance, to them. So doesn't quite apply to them 100%. At least when it comes to, the importance factor. Just saying it's really good. Wait, hold on. You literally said we have the best restaurants. You literally quote said we have the best restaurants here. I've been thinking about that. I think it should be the maximization of freedom of expression. I think if it's like a rubber brand, it can stretch and fit over a lot of things. But if straight too far, it snaps. Yeah, exactly. I didn't say best in the world. Okay, so now you're saying it's not the best in the world, but this still was implied. We have the best restaurants, like implying that Israel has the best restaurants out of anywhere. That is kind of implying that it is the best in the world. English is my second language. I know that a lot of you speak it pretty normally and free fluently, and also most second language speakers speak it way better than most Americans. Your English is just fine. That ain't an excuse for me. Your English is just fine. Talking about food. I wasn't. I'm just bringing that up because Oscar brought it up. Though, why not? Food's fucking good. I mean, like, why not talk about food? Otherwise, you end up in the loop. Tolerance means tolerating intolerance. Okay, that also means tolerating a lack of tolerance for intolerance, right? And just repeats. Yeah. Because if you have someone who's going to be intolerant, being like, we need to exterminate, this group of people, and we're supposed to tolerate that as like a basis of like, well, let's have a conversation about that. Like, now you're just meeting them at their level at that point and normalizing the idea that that's okay. No, fuck that shit. That's not like, I mean, if you're like, we should just exterminate that people or whatever, it's like, no, fuck you and fuck that. Like, that's not like some like, thing we just talk about. That's something to shut the fuck down. Well, you're leftist. I'm a left wing too. Then how come you deny the genocide that's going on in Palestine there, bucko? To be a leftist, you would have to acknowledge and, advocate, the fact that there's a genocide and to, end it. But I distinctly remember last time you were like, no, there ain't no. Yeah, see? Yeah, so you ain't a leftist. You ever had a kick-ass soda, then you can kind of taste it when you burp? Pretty sweet. Yeah, it's pretty sick, bro. Give expression to me at top quality, not necessarily the absolute best of everything. Yeah. I'm not really one to give this one credence. Excuse me. Get it. Get your ball. There ain't no genocide. I'm a realist. Yeah, does the realism include, seeing the endless photos and videos of children and innocent people being slaughtered and fucking starved to death and obliterated by Israeli bombs and gunfire? Yeah, because, I mean, to acknowledge that would actually be a realist. Including aid workers, off and on throughout this fucking war, that's been going on. And it's just been, oh, well, that's actually Hamas hiding in there or something. It's the most moral country. And this is why people do not like your fucking nation state and the philosophy of Zionism, because this monstrous, savage, backwards fucking idea that, oh, we're the most moral because we just literally can obliterate anyone we want because it was promised to us 3,000 years ago or some such shit is not excusable. I don't give a fuck. And the thing is, you don't have to be an Israeli or Jewish to fucking believe this shit. I have to hear it predominantly from evangelical Christians out here. Because y'all fucking, like, you convince a bunch of these crazy motherfuckers out here and the right-wing crazy fucks here to be like, oh, well, they're just the chosen people of the Lord. When second coming of Jesus comes and they don't convert to Christianity, well, that'll just be a part of the rapture and blah, 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 blah. You realize that a lot of the people that are Zionists, that are Christians, aren't in your fucking favor because when the rapture comes, there people like you who don't convert to Jesus, when he returns, from the rapture when for his second coming, go to hell, and pretty much are exterminated. Outside of the Jews that do convert to Christianity, those get to go into the kingdom of heaven. That's in the fucking lore of Christianity. When it comes to Revelations, I ain't advocating that. It's fucking insane, strangely anti-Semitic shit, but hey, I mean, you're putting your bed in with these motherfuckers. Oscar, everyone's very much just a matter of what variety. I want to say everyone is. It depends on what we mean by that, though, I guess. Feel like got here at a weird time. I don't know. I guess you probably did. Just by your knowledge, do you have anything to rebuke it? Because literal imagery, videos, and actual faces of these people, show me otherwise. You got something to actually genuinely refute it? Because I'm pretty sure even the entire fucking world, for the most part, says otherwise, too. Shit. I feel like you could actually legit, probably give me some refutation of some sort. Even like some question that I have to, that I might have to like stir in my head. But the chink to cut steel? Probably could. And cut for Zionist bullshit, that's for sure. Though I know you said you were from Iran, by the way. I didn't, get a chance to read it, but hey, I hope you're at least, staying safe and things are doing all right for you. Hopefully things end up being good for y'all, and I just hope the U.S. doesn't fuck and meddle in the affairs of your, problems that are going on. But sadly, I, feel like that might be happening. So. What has always been the only thing that's changed is the weapons used and the fact that it's been publicized on a while ago, so you can see what's happened throughout history. Yeah, I I don't know. Like, I partly agree and I kind of disagree because, like, the anti-war movement in this country just feels like it's dead. Like, yeah, the people want, to see our taxpayer dollars and see us meddling in affairs of Venezuela, Iran, Greenland, etc. Like, no. But this whole major emphasis on being, actually, like, staunchly anti-war doesn't really seem like it's much of a movement like it used to. The last time there was really any echelon of that was during, like, the peak of the Iraq War back in 03 and 04. And even then it fizzled out. So it's like, I mean, the real time that America really was generally anti-war for, time when there was a movement of that was back during the Vietnam War. because that was one of the few times where you had like straight up journalists and shit going right out there on the front lines. I mean, I guess kind of a little bit, again with Ukraine stuff, but not as much. Especially even that fizzled out. You see media really focusing on Ukraine war as much anymore? Not really. Even with people's, like call for peace and calling for like, the end of that war, it's like it's not like a movement. Who wants the war? We don't want Islamic Republic. I don't know if you'd be speaking for everybody. A lot of people don't want the U.S. to be meddling in their affairs. They want to see the regime change and they want to see, a people's revolution. But at the end of the day, like, I'm pretty sure they don't want the United States fucking around with it. Because guess who's going to be, the government still in charge when that happens? And guess what's going to happen after that? It's going to be a power vacuum. And it's not going to look like fucking Iraq or Afghanistan either. Because Iran actually has a standing fucking military. So that's not exactly something to be supporting. I don't really think you realize the fucking consequences of what that looks like. Think Australia have any way on Islam private female or radicalized more combatants? I mean, it's all radicalized a lot of people just in general in the sense of just the violation of human rights. And this whole sense of like, trying to step in mess or whatever, it's like you're just making it worse. Like, especially when it comes to an ideology or an idea, especially when it comes to an organization like that, you can't, kill the idea. If you try to do, especially with warfare, all you do is just perpetuate and escalate it and radicalize it further. They have war games where Iran won a scenario under U.S. journalists plan. They have an adequate military. They do. You don't think that in a way people, even if they're not pro the government, will at least look and stand by them in the sense of like, I don't want the U.S. here. Fuck them more. I mean, I guarantee you they would. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them would. Saudis are the ones that benefit most from the instability. The region has always been a fight between the two of them. It has. I mean, ultimately, the ones who are benefiting the most out of this really is Saudi Arabia because they're the ones who are helping, funding this and helping, like kind of exacerbate this shit. I mean, look, fucking the genocide in Yemen that we've been escalating and allowing to happen and shit when it came to that shit going on. I don't think it's happening as much anymore, but it's one of those things where it's just like it is. That has been something that been kind of brushed under the rug just on the virtue that Saudi Arabia has been our closest ally for the longest fucking time when they're a literal fucking royal monarchy. An extremist savage one at that too. Get a point to Epstein Island. I know like St. James is like somewhere in the fucking Caribbean, like somewhere over like either around over here or like somewhere over here. Saudi's been pulled out of Yemen. Yeah. After they genocide enough Yemeni people. Even Obama was on board with what happened to Yemen, people didn't realize it's not a political issue at all. I mean, it is, but it's not a left Democrat versus right Republican divide. It's a uniparty fucking thing. Beater. Oh my god, hold on. You go potty? You go outside? Come on. We'll do this again. You're fucking insane. Jesus. Fucking started going nuts out there. Hello, Mr. Dave Mustaine. That's another one that adds to the list of people I look like, apparently. Do aliens exist? Sure. I believe they do. They just haven't visited Earth. The closest they did is probably they have, like, probes that are, like, on the outside of our solar system observing us. Like, they haven't visited us. Wish they did. Are you also Mississippi? No, I'm not. I've been to PNW. Real issue is these countries and its people are all just in pieces of the chessboard, and it's a game being played by people you don't even see on TV. And the middleman, puppets just like trying to distract. I mean, I do agree with that. And a lot of them are people like Peter Thiel, Rubio. I know apparently the whole fucking thing with Venezuela and like the potential escalation, even with fucking Cuba, apparently, is like Rubio's like playpen fucking idea. Which the thing is, a lot of this is built off of like a Leo Straussian philosophy, because Leo Strauss was the architect for a lot of neoconservatism that we're seeing now, that we saw with Reagan, that we saw with H.W. Bush, that we saw with George W. Bush. Like, it's just, part of the neoconservative Leo Straussian idea. And, because a lot of the acolytes under Leo Strauss were people like Karl Rove, Donald Rumsfeld, Rockefeller, even the Bushes themselves. Like, a lot of different fucking, people were, influencing acolytes of, his philosophy of neoconservatism. And shocker, a lot of these same fucking people that either were acolytes to the people that were acolytes to him or directly acolytes to Strauss are now in Trump's administration too. Not just the first term, but this one as well. So, I mean, really, it's just kind of like a broader expansion of the neoconservative, kind of fascist politics that have been coming from Straussian conservatism for a long fucking time from the Republican Party. This isn't really necessarily a new thing. It's just from a dementia, dying, old, crazy orange fuck, instead of, someone as competent as Bush. That's the main difference. And does that make it more scarier and, freakier? Yeah, because now the mask is off. But, at the end of the day, I mean, it's been a thing that's been growing for a long fucking time. You're the man of thousand faces, apparently. I guess I am. He's an alien on a cover. He takes famous metal singers. I mean, I do karaoke, so kind of. Funny enough, the last karaoke song I did was Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction. Oh, it's raining. Oh, yep, you're all wet. Oh, shit. Y'all better be chill now. You know, I was just kind of thinking too, at least for, lookalikes. If I were to dye my hair like black and then just like have it streaked down and made myself pale as fuck, I can also look like Brian Warner too. Bishop Trump is answering to people like Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock. Larry Fink is someone who got his orders. Well, of course, yeah, he definitely is. He's answering to people like Peter Thiel. He's answering to people like uh, what's that other motherfucker? Why am I blanking on his name out of nowhere? Stephen Miller. I don't know why I blanked on his name out of nowhere, but he's also answering to some of the old associates in the close, circle of Epstein as well, considering that he's been redacting or at least trying to redact as much as fucking possible, which I don't know if anyone's, kind of caught up with any of that, but the fact that there's literal, like, weird cannibalism, like bestiality, fucking already this child trafficking shit, knowing that Trump and other associates, and clients have killed, some of these, girls and other people and shit. It's just like, yeah, like it's already going fucking insane, but now like the weird, like Bohemian Grove cannibalistic bullshit, like that some conspiracy theorists would be freaking out about a little bit, which none of them seem to be having a peep about it outside of defending it, interestingly enough. Like that shit seems to be kind of real at this point. And the wild shit is not every rich fuck is involved in it, but there's a separate class of these rich extremist elite cocksuckers that are just all involved in it. And it's like, what the fuck? And it's like, well, what isn't redacted, is already insane. But what is redacted? And more of it's just going to be coming out. Like, that's going to be the insane shit right there. Knowing, like, what else is going to be coming out of this. Because it is generally fucking wild. Attention to spending kind of separation. Well, yeah, blackmail, compromise, like the shit that they know of each other to kind of keep each other's mouths shut, what governments know, like it's all intertwined. They do use the same shit because they do get throughout as forbidden fruit, be able to do powerful enough to get away with it. Well, look, I'm not even a religious person. I'm anti-theist, so it's to me, it's just not like some weird satanic god thing, this and that or whatever. It's just like how sociopath, like they're basically like John Wayne Gacy's, Jeffrey Dahmer's. They're those type of people, but they just have fuck you money. People like Jeffrey Dahmer didn't. You know what I mean? It's like that's who the fuck these kind of people are. They're sociopathic, narcissical, utterly detached from any fucking human empathy, conditioning, or any emotion, and pretty much act like fucking people because they're utterly, completely detached and sociopathic in the most extreme fucking way. Not every single person on the list, is, or in the files is like that, but a majority of them, especially the ones who are heavily involved in it, who are actively involved in all this fucking insane shit that's being released, yeah, fuck yeah. Every single one of those motherfuckers are. And I don't know if I could say exactly how I feel about what should be done, even if I have the caveat of, like, here's how legally I feel like it should be done via the judicial process and every metric and most extreme prejudice possible. I don't think I could really, mention that. You know what I mean? Let's just say that involves going back in time, a little medieval style about, how I think we ought to deal with it. Let's just put it that way. nice, good, healthy dose of, French Revolution in there as well. We released a bunch of blacked out pages. Yeah, this won't raise any eyebrows at all. Yeah, definitely not. Ford or Chevy, and why? Chevy because Henry Ford was a fascist and anti-Semite and literally would fucking help the Nazi cause up until World War II started. So, Chevy better. They don't got that baggage. You know what would be a great gift would be? A bronze bowl. Oh yeah, I see. See, oh, you're going even farther back. Ooh, you're going old school. I see what you're doing, Rose. Okay, you're going old school. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. I like it. I like it. Because I was thinking that too. I just, I just, you know me. I like to be a little creative and get in some detail. And I mean, never mind. See, I was just about to do it. I was just about to do it. And I know y'all want to hear it, but I can't. I'm not doing it. Hot bother. There's some legit reasons for redactions, like protecting intelligence agents, identifying, etc., but nowhere near the amount of redactions. So just foul play, and they did a shit job. It's not even that. They're redacting people that are the victimizers and the people that are pretty much the perpetrators of the shit. They're not even trying to bother redact agencies or the victims or any of that shit. Like shit that, probably should be redacted. But they're pretty much like trying to redact everything but what probably should be redacted. So at this point, fuck it. Unredact every goddamn letter. I mean, if they're not even going to bother, redacting like the victims, especially when they're underage and also shit, like when they should have been, then fuck it. Like, just unredact everything. I mean, at this rate, because you know what? I want to fucking know. I want to know even agencies and organizations and governments. I want to know what the fuck is involved in this shit. Like, at this point. Because if, if the victims don't fucking matter, then, these agencies, these governments, and these other fucking people that victimize these people don't fucking matter. And nor should they, honestly. They should be called out. So, at this point, unredact it all. Let it all be out there. Because you know that all it's going to do is just rile the fucking people up. And that's what I want. Because the more of this shit gets released, the more and more it gets harder to defend, and the more, people get fucking pissed off. And, especially here in this country. And that's, dead ass, that's kind of what we need right now. If we're going to have some accelerationism that's positive, this is what it should be. Because it is, even when I'm at the protests at ICE here in Portland, with my little megaphone, I'll be like, don't think we forgot about the Epstein files because I know you're a gigantic ICE block hiding it. Don't think we forgot about that because y'all defending that shit too, you fucking pedophile defending piece of shit. I know you all fucking fantasizing the idea about wanting to be on St. James Island too, motherfuckers, but you ain't gonna get it now. Get your circle jerk off and get your nut wild last, bitch. They don't ever release unedited files. They're doing control burn and will throw a few people on the bus to try to satisfy the public, but that's all. I know. Hey, don't get me wrong, I know that shit. But the thing is, with how many files and how much there is, I mean, I remember reading an article not that long ago, earlier today, about how even like the DOJ and shit are having a hard time redacting everything because of their time frame of trying to release everything. Like, it's hard for them to get everything. So a lot of shit is, I guess due to just sheer competence and shit, is being unredacted and just left untouched just because they can't get to it. That's how we know about a lot of this other crazy fucking shit, because frankly, it's because they can't get to it yet. They can't redact it yet. Which, you know what? Good. If they have to release so many fucking files they can't get to it all, then fuck yeah. I'm okay with that. because they can't do it. They can't redact it all. I mean, they're already breaking the law with the fucking court order when it comes to releasing the files anyway. They've been doing that for like, what, a fucking month now? It's been a minute since, that order, was released. So it's like, at this point, it doesn't even really matter. They're breaking the fucking law. I mean, they're taking way too fucking long to release everything. And supposedly, they only released like, what, like 5 to 10% of it? This isn't even close to, remotely close to even a quarter of it. Like, what? Like, if it's this deep, what the fuck is in all this shit? And people better be begging for pitchforks, fucking torches, and guillotines, in Minecraft, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and Grand Theft Auto, and all the other memes and shit, joke, 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 yeah, wink, wink, that, it's like, cause if not, I don't know. I lose faith in humanity. That goes through your thing. Well, the thing is, I think the files are paper and they're digitalizing them. And then trying to redact them as they go. They just can't get to everything. At least that's from what I understand. Because a lot of them are also like fucking photos and shit too. Like a lot of the files include photos that you could tell that have been like digitalized because they're putting on one of those like, machine, like little fucking digital like photocopy machines and shit. Like, so, I mean, you could tell that they're paper files and shit, like what's in there, but they're doing that in bulk, and then they just aren't getting to everything, which fine by me. Like I said, and the FBI trying to serve justice, some redactions are so bad they make me say some slip in, but certain things look obvious, malicious, and compliance. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like giving a little bit of a benefit of doubt to it, which I'm sure there are probably some people in the FBI and DOJ that are actually like, yeah, fuck this administration, fuck this. I'm just trying to do what I can here. Like, I get that, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of it is just, trying to be compliant, but it's just incompetence, because this administration really is incompetent fucking administration. I mean, the only thing that seems to be competent right now is pretty much the ICE Gestapo that's been stomping around fucking Minneapolis and Portland and a lot of these other fucking places around the country. I mean, even then, they're fucking incompetent and have no fucking concept of, like de-escalation or, ability to even seem like they're abided by any metric of law or anything. So even then, they're not doing that either. I'll admit, at least the ones in Portland seem to be a little bit more reserved than the ones in Minneapolis. I'll grant that. They haven't shot, killed anyone out here yet. Caveat on it yet. Because I know Trump and his administration has been wanting Portland to be on his list as the next city outside of Minneapolis, for a long time. And I know for a fact Minneapolis has basically been the testing ground for other cities, especially Portland. And the thing is, knowing how Portland has been, especially when Kristi Noem tried to make her little stupid fucking, PR bullshit, appearance out here, it just failed and didn't work because you had the Chicken Man out there. You had like, the frogs, you had other people that were just like, yeah, you're fucking shooting pepper balls and tear gas and these fucking people. And it's been like that, ever since I've been, going to that shit. And ever since that, ever since especially the frog, infamously, became a meme, all this shit, it's like, I mean, it's one of these things where it's like Portland is just cut from a different breed. And funny enough, like even back in 2020, the two big cities that were sticking it out for the longest time when it came to protesting, especially the Trump administration at the time, was Minneapolis and Portland. And guess what? We're doing it again. You know, so I love it. I mean, to me, ultimately, it's a fucking beautiful thing, and I'm ready for it. I did it once. I'll do it goddamn again. I don't give a shit. I've been doing it again. Not as frequent as I used to, but still am. Actually, I'm probably going to be going down there tomorrow. I want to at least try to make like a night on a weekend, like either a Sunday or Saturday, one of those days to try to at least go out there. So, then go tonight, but I'm going to at least, try to do that for tomorrow. Might bring my little husky onesie. Just for the hell of it. It's, what we want to see is Republicans start talking and realize that they have common enemies and it will work that both of them would start weeding out. I don't want. I mean, call me radical, I guess, or like lefty as hell. But I'm already sick of the fucking Democrats trying to reach an olive branch to the Republicans as it is. So at this point, I don't want that. I want it like a branching off from this two-party system and having some element of like at least elements and an ability to and an influence to get some third-party options, whether locally or otherwise. And even if that means taking over some part of the Democratic wing to the point where the more liberal Democrats branch off and become their own thing, and they have to be forced to leave. If a lot of these moderate Republicans and neoliberal Democrats want to get together and have their olive branch shit, then form your own party. Be like some centrist party or something. Obviously we have the numbers and the money and stuff and the backing for it. Let the Democratic Party, go back to its proper roots. So I guess in a way I don't necessarily disagree, but just because I feel like it'd be favorable for progressives and leftists. So hey, and honestly, maybe help kind of break that duopoly kind of fucking game. Even if it's triopoly, or even if maybe the libertarians, start, getting their own thing going a little bit, and then the Green Party has like some minor influence, as like kind of a coalition party or something. Fuck yeah. I mean, the United States needs a multi-party system. I mean, at worst, arguably. At best, I think it really should just be not partisan. Like, have parties in the sense of like, as a broader establishment of like an idea of like, what you're advocating for, but let it be like what is your specific policies, kind of shit. That's kind of what I'm about. Like, so I want to kind of get shit nonpartisan, like how usually like a lot of smaller local elections can be. Pre-tuned by nature, the power of cities try to turn the swamp and third parties create an illusion rather than let democracy actually occur. Well, that's why I want a multi-party, not a triopoly or duopoly. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's got no flaws at all, because there's plenty of multi-party systems in different countries that are pretty flawed in their own ways. But I think arguably a lot of our problems here in this country would be solved if we did have a multi-party system. New problems would arise and some other problems would stick around, but maybe not as big of a problem. But I think it would help. Because it's been too fucking long, since we've had actual like competitive third-party options. Like the Bull Moose Party, the Farmer Labor Party, the Socialist Party of America back in in the fucking 1900s, in the 1920s and 30s, where Eugene Debs was literally like in the popular vote, the third popular candidate in the votes. He got like 13% back in like I forgot exactly when. This is actually even before he was arrested and was the convict president. I think it was 1919, I think. And then when he was arrested and was running for president while still in a cell, Eugene Debs still got the third and was about like a little less, about like 10%. And it was 1920 something, I think. 1923 or 1922. It's pretty much like the next election afterwards. They don't want you not getting in. Oh, I know. I was one of those Bernie Crat types back in the day too. Arguably, he's kind of what helped me kind of get inspired and kind of get more into politics. Because I just graduated high school like when he first ran back in 2015 and 2016, and I was already kind of politically inclined. I was already just starting to listen to Kyle Kalinske on Secular Talk. I was just starting to kind of like, explore my own politics a little bit. I was already kind of like a little progressive in nature by that point, but still kind of a lib at that rate. But not like where I'm at yet, where I'm at now. And I will say, like, Bernie was a major influence and inspiration of where I'm at now for sure. I got my critiques of him, and I'm not really as much of a fan of him anymore now concurrently, but I still respect and love and value and just still always love who he was growing up. Like I have his books, you know. So I mean, it's one of those things where I ain't gonna dog on that. I just kind of wish that he still had that energy in him. But, he's an older guy. I mean, I get it. He's an old man. You get beaten down and you kind of can't really handle it as much, after a certain point. Talking to create someone to replace the currency, even. You can't shuffle the cards to the same deck in your new deck. Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. I start kind of speak my language a little bit. Because, I mean, we do. I mean, I'm not saying we needed like some violent revolution shit like fucking Lenin or something, but we do need like some sort of a total systemic revolutionary overhaul, like for sure. And even like readapting our currency and like changing how we look at it, or even just switching it up entirely. I mean, like we definitely, I'm kind of all about that. Like, reshuffling how we look at, our system and not just making it more democratic, but also giving more power to, the average person to be able to have an actual voice, when it comes to, Congress or a parliamentary kind of system. I mean, however it gets reshuffled into, but ultimately I want to see it be more seen for not just the power of people, but also power for like worker power and having unions have a voice when it comes to like, this type of system. Having, different agencies and organizations having somewhat, some voice in there too as well, on top of, you know, the just broader voice of the people when it comes to, these representatives that we are going to elect into the shit. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be utterly fucking shifted and changed, where I think there needs to be more of a, like, a people's check kind of thing. Like, this whole weird representative thing where we have to just rely on protests and other shit and call our fuck representatives and hope to change their mind or some shit like that ain't really quite working that much. We need to have like an actual piece of that pie of that like system where we actually have a voice in there somewhere, where we can be like, y'all we're gonna like override your voice because you're all bullshitting us and it's fucked up and you're all not representing us anymore. There needs to be some shit like that in place because there isn't. So when you start there first and find a way to rewire people more differently and stop being baited by the same old tricks. Well, yeah. I mean, education is definitely one of the first things that would systemically and utterly rehaul and, change up, when it comes to something like this. Because you need a younger populace to understand and learn this, kind of shit. I mean, not to get on a major tangent, but it did just brought up something on my mind because I know that last week, last Saturday, there was kind of like a union rally, labor march against ICE, and ICE, shocker, started tear gassing the fuck out of everyone. And the crazy thing is, and the wild, horrible fucking thing is that there was kids, with these union workers and laborers, and amongst other protesters included, that had their kids with them, like labor union families, and and seeing some of the footage of like those kids, it's just like fucking wild and just horrible to see them, have to be affected by shit like that, especially knowing what CS gas does, to a child's youth and their development when it comes to like things like infertility or, damage of like, their development, growing up. Like it comes with a lot of fucking consequences. And I kind of have like this, like, you probably shouldn't bring your kids to shit like that kind of feeling to it. And if you do, be fucking prepared and have something for them to be prepared for. But at the same time, it's like, that's a learning experience. Those kids are going to be radicalized and learn, and know what like the worst our system can fucking offer. You know what I mean? And it's like, I hate that is unfortunately how they have to do it and learn it because their parents, especially if they're not being prepared for them, being stupid. I will admit. I mean, those kids are going to be like, all right, well, shit. If our system is doing that even to me as a little innocent fucking kid, because obviously I ain't going to be doing nothing besides just being there, being happy with a little sign or some shit, then it's like, what the fuck are they going to be doing to the adults? What are they going to be doing to me when I grow up? They're going to be thinking this shit. I mean, and, they'll actually, like, come back and learn from that a little bit. Like, I mean, I hate that, it is that fucking shit because it's like, I wish that, they would just have better preparedness and arguably just don't bring the kids along. Bring them to some other shit. Like, bring them to, like, the rally where it's like the park march and then, one of you go back with the kids back home and then, they meet up later at the actual place at the fucking ICE facility or something. You know what I mean? Like, do some shit like that. Like, I don't mind, a lot of these protests, like the No Kings protests that happened back in November. Like, I mean, I was fine with that because, that was a whole big fucking people's community kind of thing. People, family, and everybody. I was doing my own thing, but I mean, everyone else was too, including with their kids. And when I went to the ICE facility where a lot of other people were gonna link up at, there weren't no kids there. So, I mean, it's not like you can't bring them along, but know what's smart. Like know where to bring them and know where not to. You know what I mean? Like I like to bring my dog to protest a couple times, and I've done that before, but I ain't bringing him to the ICE facility. I ain't bringing him to any of that shit. Like I know what's appropriate and what ain't, because I like to call him my little anarcho little protest dog. I named him Zukov after all, after Gregory Zukov, field marshal of fucking fucking Soviet Union. So I mean, like I named him that for a reason, but it's like shit. Like, I know better than to bring him to a lot of these fucking things, and I don't. I mean, I'd treat the same if I had a kid, or if I had my niece, along with me. Like, I'd do the exact same fucking thing. I want to bring him along to that. Somebody don't bring your kids, just certain shit, yeah. Well, yeah, of course, yeah. Because I understand, the value of, like, letting your kids, learn about stuff like that, like I said. You know what I mean? But when you know that there might be some spicy things going on, whether it's pepper balls or tear gas or whatever the fuck, probably better not to bring them along. And I understand that like certain places like in Minneapolis, like there are just communities and neighborhoods where there's just not a choice. And that's just more of a fucking crime, against the fucking agency of ICE now, and DHS because they do shit like that more than the fucking parents or the kids at that point because they don't have a choice. They're just hanging out in their house or at school, and now there's tear gas, fucking a fog of it coming down the block because there was some fucking crazy shit going down like literally a block away. Or it's just right outside of their school or right outside of their house or some shit. It's like, I ain't gonna blame, the parents or the kids or anything like that at that point. Fuck ICE, especially because of shit like that going on. And that's been going on in Portland too. There's an elementary school right like a block or two down from the ICE facility here in Portland. And because of all the fucking gas they've been launching, those kids have been having to go to a different temporary school, or somewhere else right now because it's just too hazardous for them to be there. And there's apartments pretty much right across the street too, and all of them are not complaining about the protesters, but are complaining about the gas because the fucking ICE agents fucking launching it over the most stupidest shit. That's mainly why. In fact, one of them will I know one of the people that live there will actually live stream it sometimes and get like this really cool like angle where you can kind of see from above. Some of them will actually record some shit, sometimes and be like, hey, here's what's going on right now. There's like one or two of them that are pro ICE and they never really popped their head out because the one or two times they did, they pretty much got fucking chewed the fuck out pretty much immediately. I think one of them almost got their shit canned, like because they shoved somebody and everyone was like, "Get the fuck back inside! You're fucking done," kind of shit. And there was some other dude being like, "Oh, I want to fuck him up," kind of thing. And he eventually just backed the fuck up because there was like suddenly a wall of people be like, "You're done, get out of here," and he just went right back inside. So I was like, "Ooh, yeah, don't try to be starting shit, you little bitch." Especially when you live right outside, like that's just dumb. Because now people are probably gonna, find out like the specific little window that you're at, and then start heckling you from when you happen to pop your head out or some shit. Like, I mean, come on, don't be, it's like, what are you doing? I mean, if you support them, you don't have to like outright admit it. You can just be like, "Hey, look, can you all please just try to keep it down and be respectful? Try to be like a lib." Be a liberal about it. Be like, come on, like, can you all just like be peaceful and this and that? I'm trying to sleep. Like do some liberal shit. Don't be like, like one of these little MAGA fucks out here, because now you're just asking to fuck around and find out at that point. It's like, bruh, come on. Makes me wonder if they're fanning flames of some kind of civil war. Maybe at least this kind of just radical shit to make people show you more than ever. Well, it's all divide and conquer tactic, because ultimately at the end of the day, it is no war but the class war. I don't really have that much sympathy to these MAGA loyalists, weird fuckballs, and ICE supporters and shit. But at the end of the day, they're victims of the class war too. I mean, and my advocacy includes them as well. But if they want to be pariahs and fucking piece of shit, then well, fuck them. But I mean, it's not like they don't deserve universal health care. It's not like they don't deserve like, some sort of basic social security or some shit. You know what I mean? Just like any other fucking human being in this country, they deserve that. So, I mean, I'll still advocate for their basic humanity, but if they want to be a fucking weird little sewer rat, then fuck them. If they want to have a hard time trying to find a job because they want to be a weird old Nazi bitch, then fuck them. But that doesn't mean they should like deserve to literally like rot in the fucking street and be like some weird fetty ass fucking homeless person or some shit going off about crazy schizo conspiracy theories about the Jews killed everything and ruined everything or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't mean it. They deserve that. They can have their weird conspiracy bullshit, but deserve a roof over their head and have basic comfortability so they can at least have some groceries and shit like that. Just like everyone else does. Anyway, I gotta take a shower. I had some work I need to. And nice talking to you. Blessing. Yeah. Well, I'll be come back around next time. You know, having a little some fun convos and all that fun shit. I should do a quick little time check too, cause all right, cool. Cause I know I need to got my home broski, you know, a couple of brews later. Just kind of debating if I want to take y'all along or not, but since we're kind of chilling out a little bit, I don't know. I might debate on doing a part 2. Come back after I do that, because I know there's a little spot just right around the corner that's still open for at least another hour and a half. So I'm like, I could just do a part 2. Let the algorithm, you know, bring some other people in. Some different shenanigans. I have been noticing it's around the 2-hour mark is when things start chilling the fuck out. It start getting a little dead and slow and shit. And it is around that 2-hour mark. So I'm like, don't want to try to take advantage of the algorithm and just part 2 it or something. Because I actually am thinking about that. I think that actually might be a little way to circumnavigate and get some others and some other fun shenanigans going through. I know, I'll think about it. I'm going to take a little pitch real quick, but I'll think about that. What? Okay, why is it quiet as fuck in here? Okay, there we go. Goodness gracious. You know, I'm kind of thinking I might do a little part 2. You know what? Even if it's a little shorter and not as extensive and active, that'd be okay. But I am starting to think about that. So I'll say this. I'll finish this up and get these little beans on their little we always love Keanu Reeves kind of thing. Because what? I need a new phrase. That didn't last long. You already know. B T B. Why are you clowning all over your sister? You poor thing. Oh, Jesse, you poor little thing. You little chunk. Vito. I'm a crazy, anxious boy. I'm an anxious, crazy boy. Jazzy, you're so soft. You're just a soft little thing. Beto! Beater, potato. Hey, quit trying to lick me. Oh my god, my face. He keeps trying to snipe my face with his licks. Jesse, you poor thing. No. Jesse's so upset. You poor thing. Poor Jesse. You poor little thing. He's like, what the fuck? Why was that a little stopping mat for that fucker? Give a little chunk. You poor thing. You poor little thing. Why is that there? Excuse me. Excuse me. What the fuck? Get that off. What's wrong with you? Crazy little bastard. All this chunk and all this floof. This little jazzy tin, this little crazy floof bean. Little chuck floof bean. Oh, look at all that. Look at all this. Wow. All this floof, all that chunk. All the sweetness. Yeah. You goofy little thing. She really did not care. She's just like, all right, well, yeah. I guess that happened to me. This is what happened. Beto, you crazy boy. Hey, no, why? Why must you lick my face? Who knows where that tongue has been? Crazy bean. Crazy boy. Beto. Little crazy boy. Ah! I'm a crazy anxious boy. Oh my lord. You're putting your whole fucking body weight into me. It's like, oh, please. I beg of it, please. I'm patient. I'm insane. Oh, that little. What the? That silly little like. This fucking silly dog. Oh my goodness. He's just too goddamn fucking cute for his own good. Crazy, but it's just too goddamn cute for his own good. It's gonna make you joke about football being gay, but it's hard to find a sport that isn't gay. Football. Bunch of muscular men in tight pants start out bent over, fought over a slightly phallic looking ball. Baseball. And goals are hitting another guy's ball with a big stick. Basketball. They have to bounce their balls across the court. Pretty much most MMA sports. two dudes without shirts have a pummel each other into submission. Then the most obvious one, tennis, knocking balls across the court. Dude, funny enough, there are a few times where me and my friend Logan will watch some UFC, and I'm actually weirdly enough kind of all right with sport. But here, bro, just for the virtue of it, watch. There'll be times where someone's like mounted on top of a guy, and they're literally are doing like this, like some humping shit, dude, while they're on their back and stuff. I'm like, what the, or literally, like they got the guy on the ground, right? Like the dude's, he's like, oh shit, trying to kind of, deal with that shit. Their ass is literally just like right there. Not even joking, like this. Like, I got your legs. Hold on. Like, I got your legs, but, ass in the face. I got your fucking legs, so bitch. It's like, what is even going on, bro? It's like, why is this weirdly so gay? It's like, what is that? And I'm shit you not, they literally have that ass out, just like I did. It's fucking diabolical, bro. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? Why? The only thing I think of that's gay is maybe hockey. It really isn't, because you got those fucking blades on your feet. You really can't afford to be gay. You know what I mean? Like, if you're about to get in a fist fight with someone in hockey, you just gotta fucking fight it out. Like, it's a street fight, but keep those feet away from everything. Like, I mean, you can't really afford to do that. You know what I mean? Hockey really is speaking of which, I need to see some Olympic hockey. The only Olympics I'm actually really into is the fucking Winter Olympics, and oh my god, I haven't seen any goddamn hockey. I've seen some of the snowboarding shit. I've seen some of the women's skating shorts. I've seen the men's downhill skiing. I've seen some other shit, but I have not seen any hockey. And the very first one was the U.S. versus the Czech Republic. That was the very first game of the Olympics. It was a hockey game. And I'm like, what the fuck? I haven't even seen that yet. It's like, bruh, I need to see that shit. Speaking of the Olympics, did y'all see that JD Vance literally got booed at the opening ceremony for the U.S.? Beautiful. So, magnifique. The only time the U.S. I think got really top 5 in anything so far from what I have watched was the women's short skating, where I think it was Alyssa Liu, I think it was the name, got either 3rd or 4th place. Well, no, it was a 4th or 5th place. She initially got bronze, but then she got back down because somebody else got like 2nd or some shit like that. So, but that, as far as from what I've seen, the only time where we almost got something close, when it came to everything else I've seen, the U.S. has been sucking. Which, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm glad that the Italians, the Swiss, and all these other motherfuckers are just like slaying. I prefer it when the other nations actually got some shit going now. Ironically, soccer is the least gay ball-based sport. Weirdly enough, that's true. I don't watch the Olympics, but that's great. No, wait, volleyball too. Well, I mean, a little bit. Volleyball's a little gay. A little bit. Or like metro / like bisexual or pansexual, you know what I mean? It's not like quite gay, but it's like halfway there. But yeah, like I said, I know you probably don't, but I do like the Winter Olympics. The regular Olympics, meh. Meh. But Winter Olympics, though, I do like me some Winter Olympics. It's a unisex sport. I mean, yeah, volleyball. That is true, but Eh. Weirdly enough, I'm not really bad at the sport, but I'm not really a fan. Strange enough, I prefer baseball. But nobody in the group likes baseball. It sucks. It's like, bruh. I just need to find, like, if I'm at, like, some fucking, like, gym or something, because I want to at least, like, start kind of get myself, in shape a little more. I'm gonna have to, like, hit up somebody and be like, you in baseball or something? Because I need like, like some baseball club or some shit to get into. I want to get back in baseball stuff. I need to do some shit like that and find some people so that I can get my friends to be like, all right, you're all getting fucking into this sport because y'all say it's boring. Well, fuck you. Now you're all about to get into it. Because I really do like some baseball, to be honest. I'm the odd one out when it comes to that, but I don't care. I'll get people into it. Watching it, I will admit, can be kind of boring. Like, I don't really watch the sport, but playing it is fun as fuck. What about golf? I said sports. Hey, you know me, man. I do like me some golf. I play golf, man. I like playing golf is actually kind of weirdly chill. That's fun. Especially if you're at the course and you got a little something, hitting in your ankle where you can kind of like, you know what I mean? While you're playing golf, now it's a little fun. Come on, like, dude, okay. There's actually like, a couple like more public community kind of golf course areas around here in Portland. Dude, if you ever come up here, I gotta take you to one of them because, bro, like, I'm telling you, it can be fun. Especially if you got like a little J hidden in your ankle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, or for me, maybe like a little Jim Beam shooter or something like that. You know what I mean? I mean, golf works fine. You don't need acres of land for that shit. Look, I hate the fact there's like stupid private golf course shit. Like, I'm critical about that. I think there needs to be like a few, like at most like maybe 5 communal like golf courses. One of them could be a little bougie, and that's where the bougie fucks go. But most of them need to just be like regular communal places where bougie people can go because it's just quick to be there or whatever the fuck. It's cheap, shit like that. All that stuff, right? Like, it's just there. I mean, like, I don't mind if there's like parks that are incorporated with, a golf course like that, or it's more of a communal, like, public place where it's easy for anybody to do, even for rentals and shit like that. Like, I'm fine with that. But this whole, like, oh, we have this country club golf course and it's like every other mile or whatever for like certain places. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. No, 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 no. Like, I got a line in the sand when it comes to that. Because that is some bullshit. Like, where a lot of property and a lot of spaces are just this manicured bullshit golf shit. And it's just like a select few rich elite that just have to go there. And it's like, now, unacceptably. Unacceptably. Go Seahawks. I'm not a football guy, but go Seahawks. They're in the fucking Super Bowl, right? Who's playing against them? This is like the one time where I'm going to give a fuck about the Super Bowl. New England Patriots. Oh, shit. Seahawks better fucking win. I remember the Super Bowl when it was Colorado, or was it Colorado? Yeah, it was Colorado. What fucking team was that? It was 2015, I think, because that was when Washington. It was Washington and Colorado that first legalized, for marijuana. And funny enough, that year happened to be the year that those teams happened to play. Let me just. No, oh my god. Wait, it's the same teams? 2015 was Seahawks and the Patriots. What the fuck? Was it 2014? What was it? 2014? Yeah, Denver. Okay, yeah, so Denver Broncos. Okay, yeah, so it's 2014. That was the Super Bowl. It's 2014. Wait, so there's a rematch for 2015, 11 years ago, with 2015. So Seahawks, win again, but it was with the Patriots, and now it's happening again. Oh, rematch. Oh shit. Okay. Wait, hold up. Who won that year? Come on, just me. 18-24. Okay, yeah, rematch. All right, yep. Seahawks better win, motherfucker. That's literally the only time I'm gonna give a fuck. Just because they're local. Local to the land. Double check on time real quick. All right, sweet. Yeah, I think I'll do a little part 2. So once I'm at 10, we'll come back for a little bit and have a little bit more fun and all that stuff. Not quite a last call or nothing. I know they're going to get a little quick mini event. That's for sure. Why do you have to stop on all over Chunk Jazzy? What is wrong with you? This poor little bean. This poor little chunk. This poor thing. You poor little thing. Yeah, pout all you want, Vito. You absurd bastard. What are you doing? Get your fucking paw off of her. Jazzy. Are you just gonna take this? Get him, Jazzy. Get him. Smite D. Get him, Jazzy. No. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get him. Him. Get him, Jazzy. 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 He needs to behave.
Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get him. Get him, Jazzy. Jazzy, get him. Get him. Get him, Jazzy. Get him. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Oh, those fighting siblings. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Jazzy, get him. Jazzy, get him. I can't even see it, but I just know they're going nuts. Get him, Jazzy. Jazzy, get him. Jazzy, get him. Get him, Jazzy. Get him, Jazzy. Jazzy, get him. Don't bring that to me. Get him, Jazzy. Get him. No! What are you doing, you crazy? Oh my god, you are all insane. Alright, we're done. You're all done. You are all done. Oh my god. Surprisingly, that was not that crazy as I thought it was, but Jesus Christ, that was insane. No, we're done. We is done. Crazy chunk. You're insane. That doesn't mean go for what, oh my god. These dogs are crazy. These dogs are crazy. They are insane. Oh, Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy. Someone's like, oh, PFS does, if you watch my Estelot for a month, would you take it? 1,000 a day? Fuck yeah. An Estelot is basically just like a jungle cat. Not like a leopard or nothing. It's just like, yeah, like, why is that a question? Like, yeah, I would just do that. I got animal magnetism, bro. Like, yeah, that's not that hard for me to do, bro. That cat and I, that Ocelot and I would just be friends, dog. We'd just be chilling and vibing like homies. It'd be a crazy little shit, and it might injure me, but I know it'd be just because of playtime, you know. I've been around cats before. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Easy. Easy peasy. That's a yes. 1,000 a day? Yeah. You have to remember, you have to give up the Ocelot at the end of the month. I mean, I could still be friends with the person who owns it and be like, hey, is it cool if I hang out, you know, this and that? Like, you know, or maybe visit for a day, you know, or something. You know, it's not like, you know, I can't still be in communication with the person who owns it, you know what I mean? They might be a client, but hey, you know, I can be friends with clients. You see it like Ocelot? Ocelot. No, it's a ocelot, right? Well, I might just be, you know, slipping it or whatever, but whatever. You know what I mean. Could you look into his eyes, have to share together and say goodbye? Yeah. Ocelot. Ocelot. TJ's legit good painter. I want to commission a piece of artwork from him, to be honest. On top of the shit that he sells, he also does commission work for like a head portrait too. I want to see if he wants to take my profile pic of like, my YouTube channel of the Husky guy, which I still have the original art piece, hanging in my wall in my room. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just take another picture so it's a little bit more, defined, I guess, in a sense where you can actually see it a little better. And I'm just like, I just want that, but do whatever the fuck you want when it comes to like everything around it. I want like some music shit, some like pagan Wiccan shit. I want your crazy chaos wizard shit. I know you would do me proud. That's what I would just commission for him. You know what I mean? Because like I kind of want to update my profile pic, but I want like something similar to what I got. You know what I mean? Because my profile pic was when I think I was either 19 or 20. I was stoned off my ass, and I was like, I just want to draw something, and I just started having a playlist of just random music, and I just started just drawing that. And once I finally finished, the original portrait of like, the persona, I was like, it's too empty, and I was still stoned to shit, and I was like, drawing random shit. And, I just started filling in the blank, just whatever my gut feeling was, at the time. I'll have to take another picture of just with the whole thing and show it off or something, because, I mean, it was like one of my more favorite pieces, for sure. I want to digitalize it and maybe even, like, try to go over it again, just so I can at least, make it more refined, but maybe like a 2.0 kind of thing. But I don't know. It's an old piece, though, so I want to be kind of careful with it. The Jen's rant scattered off. Well, hey, they might come back. I'm gonna do part 2 here in a sec, anyway. Just so I can give them a quick little walkie poo and then grab another brewski. And I need to grab some for my buddy anyway, so might as well have one more and have a little part 2. I noticed that after the 2-hour mark, it usually starts slowing the fuck down anyway when it comes to the algorithm. So I'm like, maybe I could skirt it by doing another one. So it wouldn't be that long. Maximum like 30 minutes. Max. So. But Oh, wait, hold on. I think I saw your comment. I see what you're trying to say. Someone on Twitter thought he was dressed as a Nazi. Man, why? Well, were they? Or were? I mean, there is a time or two where someone thought I was because I had my East German officer uniform before. So don't feel that bad. Or I guess that person shouldn't feel that bad. Unless they were actually dressing like in a Wehrmacht or an SS uniform or something, then yeah, fuck them, I guess. I did one group of people that were in the red, white, and black color scheme for everyone else. I don't know. And also that Prussian Hugo Boss style uniform too. Because dude, that's some drip. All right, I'm sorry, it's drip. And the Nazis weren't the only ones to use it, by the way. Just saying. So, don't think that type of drip is just because like, no, there's it goes back further than that anyway, and it goes farther, afterwards where it got, used for better and other means. Oh my god, I swear to God. They thought TJ was. Oh, TJ? Oh, well, how? That don't even make sense, huh? I get TJ's got his weirdness, and back in his old days when he was a little bit of a libertarian weirdo back in his early content and shit, like, I get it, but, like, Jesus Christ. Huh? Never once, even watching this old shit, did I ever think he was like even remotely close to a Nazi. Anyone who thinks that is just dumb. Just a dummy. Get a little tune to wrap it for the part one. Like it. Let's send it to PFP. Well, hey, that'll be something I can react to a little bit on my little adventure. Oh, you just crazy boy. I stare at him and he wags his tail. Look at that. You're crazy. Pretty bitty man. You are going crazy.
I might check 1, 2. They always try to cut you off when you start to speak the truth. So what's the truth and what's the lie? Why the U.S. always funding genocide? And what is war? And what is peace? And what's our business always in the Middle East? They take stakes and make tanks and make banks. The West Bank, they bang and gang bang. They slave trade and slang things like AKs, grenades made to raise flames and make ways to end race. Why? It's for the money and the power. It's the hungry and devour.
Such a silly boy. Talk that booty. Crazy boy. Such a silly boy. Oh. Crazy boy. What are you doing? Big old sploot. Stretchy. Sploot. Ooh, felt a little snack crackle pop there. Ooh. Get some of that back down, yeah. Yeah, you got some little back pops. Ooh, you love a little chiropractor husky, don't you? Yeah. Oh, he is a good boy. You got a little bit of a chiropractor moment there. Yeah, you were just like, woo. Oh, you're so lucky that's empty. You're so lucky that is empty. You goofy boy. Now I really made him impatient. There. I have a little part 2. I'll be back in probably about, like I said, 30 minutes tops, give or take. Something like that. Just right after this little bowl. But if you're outside of Barwest, then I guess we'll call it good. But like I said, I'll be back just in a little bit.